Shout out my neighbor and me. I'm in there with GP. I'm in there with folks straight. I done pulled up in. Hey, right now, hey, 500 racks in my.
Hey, we recording, bro.
Recording what?
Like, we live right now.
Oh, this is the Scoop with Coop. And this week, I have with you Etho. And I got Charles. This is a scoop. I have a quote here. I'm not going to say the player's name yet, but we all know him. The quote says, "The Hall of Fame bar is incredibly low now, like a participation trophy. No all-decade team, no all-pro, no MVP, one Pro Bowl, not even MVP of the Super Bowl. Never considered the best in any year he's been in the league. At least Matt Ryan has an MVP." And that's a quote from Richard Sherman, cornerback on Matt Stafford. He was talking about Matt Stafford. That's been a hot topic lately. What do y'all think about Matt Stafford being in the Hall of Fame? Do y'all think he deserves it after he won that Super Bowl? Or is that just kind of a great accolade to have on his resume?
Nick Foles deserves to be in the Hall of Fame? All right, then. That's how I feel about
Nick
it.
Foles don't got Matt Stafford numbers either if we thinking about it. I mean, Matt Stafford's been a starter.
I feel that.
Let me read you Matt Stafford's numbers, career numbers. Or are we talking about it? Matt Stafford. Matthew Stafford has played 13 seasons in the league.
Mm-hmm.
For the Lions and Rams, he's thrown for 49,995 yards, 323 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
This man has one Pro Bowl appearance. He has one Comeback Player of the Year award, and he has one championship that he recently won. Now, I'm going to read off some other stuff later, but that's just his resume. So does that reading off that resume, does that get him into the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, man. Like, okay, people forget, like, Warren Moon. Warren Moon ain't got a single ring. He only been to the playoffs 8 times, and he's in the Hall of Fame. He passed for what? He got 300 touchdowns, and I can't remember how many yards. I think 50,000 yards. Well, 50,000, 500,000, something like that. But he never won a Super Bowl, and he only been in 8 playoff games. Now, Matt Stafford has won a Super Bowl, averaged around 4,200 yards a season in 13 years, and we say he don't belong in the Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I see what you're saying.
And that was just in 2000. He retired in 2000. So we talking about, like, over, like, time, like, people forget. You know what I mean? So, like, we can't say that if Warren Moon already in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I was just finna say that, too, though. Like, in the NFL Hall of Fame, you can go in the Hall of Fame, 20, 30 years later. That coach, I forgot his name, Coach Vermeer, they got Kurt Warner his Super Bowl way back in the early 2000s.
Right.
He just not got in the Hall of Fame this year. That was almost 20 years ago he won a Super Bowl.
You can get in the Hall of Fame further on, but it's just like.
But right now, no.
As the game changes, numbers increase. So let me read you one of the first quarterbacks, Bob Waterfield, played for the Rams as well. He played 8 seasons.
Yeah.
He threw for 11,849 yards. That's a lot less than Matt Stafford.
Yeah.
97 touchdowns, 2 Pro Bowls, 2 championships, and he was inducted to the Hall of Fame. You heard Matt Stafford's numbers. Let me give you one more, a bit more recent. Peyton Manning. We all know Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning, 17 seasons, threw for 71,940 yards. And this is the standard today. He just got in the Hall of Fame. 539 touchdowns. Now, individual awards, 14 Pro Bowls, 1 Comeback Player of the Year award, 2 Offensive Player of the Year awards, 5 MVPs.
Yeah, those are numbers.
Yes.
5 MVPs. It doesn't get more individual than that.
Yeah.
So it's just like when I think about Hall of Fame, I think of the best. It's like, can I just put Matt Stafford in there because he won a chip with one of the best?
It depends on when, though. Like I said, you can get in the Hall of Fame 20 years down the line, but now, if he was to retire today and they do that little 5-year thing where he's finally eligible, he's not going to go first ballot Hall of Fame like Calvin Johnson and all them other folks. No. It ain't. No. It's just not how it works.
And people get we've been like spoiled with like good talent recently, like great. You ain't got to be a god to go into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got Peyton, Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Big Ben. Like these were like gods when they was playing.
So
you know
you
what I
don't
mean?
think
like,
you got to be a god to get into that Hall of Fame?
You
Get
don't.
your
you got
get
Warren
your face
Moon.
molded.
You got
and
Warren
get
Moon.
a gold jacket.
You got Warren Moon. You know what I'm saying? You got people like Warren Moon up in there, and Matt Stafford done passed for way more than he did. Yeah, and Warren Moon wasn't no scrub at all.
He wasn't.
Exactly. So it's like you can be good and still be with the greats. You know what I'm saying? Like or like be like a tier above good. You know what I mean? Like you ain't legend status, but
The thing about Matt Stafford with me, like just looking at Matt Stafford, I've never looked at Matt Stafford in the light. I've never looked at Matt Stafford in the light of being top 10 in the league.
Because he doesn't win.
Okay.
That's all
Now
that
let's
is.
talk. I mean, let's talk about it. He doesn't win.
He's not a winner.
He's not a winner.
Look, he finally winning, and look who's on his team.
Now, what kind of
You
winner
gotta-
doesn't?
Come on, bro.
I mean, you know,
Oh,
his career isn't over. It's not
It's
closed yet. The book's not closed. But to bring up Hall of Fame
Because he won one Super Bowl.
because he won one chip with what we call a super team.
Literally a super
That
team.
Jared Goff brought to the Super Bowl. It's
Okay.
like, God dang.
I mean, think back to these other teams: Phillip Rivers, Tony Romo,
great,
but never won a ring.
great.
So would you say that
You
they
said
were
who?
Phillip Rivers and Tony Romo?
Both
Had
really
great
teams,
teams.
good
Great teams, but never won
in the playoffs every year.
every year.
That's how
Fumble.
I feel like that's what a quarterback is defined by. He's winning when it matters. Them regular season stats, all that stuff don't matter. You get in the playoffs, you 0-0.
So look at
Eli Manning beat Tom Brady twice. He was 9-7.
Twice.
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And when they get to talking about him going to the
Hall of
Fame,
Fame,
I'm gonna say
like-
he beat Brady and Belichick how many times?
Twice.
Okay.
Did somebody say kryptonite?
Kryptonite.
You know what I'm saying?
Kryptonite. I'm just saying. I think that's how I feel about the Hall of Fame conversation. But just looking at the whole NFL season as a whole, it didn't turn out how I think it was going to turn out.
It was competitive.
At all.
I liked how
It was
competitive
competitive.
It was
real
competitive.
I loved how competitive the NFL was this year. I loved
Them
it.
playoffs, this is probably the best playoffs I ever seen. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
It was one weekend. I think it was the championship weekend. No, or maybe the round before.
Week
The
before.
margin of victory was like by 9 throughout 3
What?
games. Game-winning field goals every game. So I'm like,
They was
it's
going
just
stupid.
this must-watch TV. It's no TV show that can make me watch it like that.
It ain't cool to lose no more.
Not cool to lose. Looking at the Bengals, they were losing
Last year.
last year,
year before
2
that.
years ago. They
Yeah.
were the worst team in the league, but then they turned it around, got to the Super Bowl, and then that's a Cinderella story.
3
though.
points right there out. Ooh wee. 3 points.
Do y'all think they could go back anytime soon?
Yeah.
You say yeah. Wow.
It's competitive though. They can compete. They can compete with anybody.
Okay.
And all they gonna do is get better. You know what I'm saying? Joe Burrow second year, Jamar Chase first year, T Higgins second or third year. What's his name? Boyd number 83. He young. Joe Mixon young. They tight end young. They D line crazy. They DBs crazy.
I really just
They
want
just gotta
them
work on
to.
their line.
I want them to work on the line. I mean,
Yeah.
as far as the run game,
They
Joe
online
Mixon
can
was
run block.
third, so I
Yeah.
can't even attack him all the way. Joe Mixon was third in rushing the
Yeah, they
entire
online
league.
got the run block.
But the pass blocking,
Yeah, that's
you give up the third most sacks in the league, and you make the playoffs.
They had the most sacks in the league.
third.
No, it was most. Joe Burrow was the most sacked quarterback
Top 3
in the playoffs.
in the playoffs. Yeah, but in the regular season there were 3, and they made the playoffs, and then they made the Super Bowl. So that's just a little crazy. So I'm just looking at other teams. Like, who do you think has the biggest chip on their shoulder going into the next season?
You want to know what's
Steelers.
crazy? I'm so biased, dog. But I'm gonna keep it 100.
You can say it.
I'm gonna be real. I think the Cowboys do.
The biggest.
No,
The biggest chip?
the biggest chip on their shoulder.
Yeah.
Yes.
Explain
Yeah.
why you think
Why?
the Cowboys?
Yes.
Why?
Because
We see how talent. Nobody
because of the way they went.
nobody
Because of the way
say,
they went out, and it's like I said, bro. It's not cool to lose no more. Like,
how did
now-
they go out though?
No.
They had a. That's what I'm saying. It's the bro. They went 12-5. You got they was leading offense. They got all these star talent players, all this stuff, and then the American team, all the attention on them, and losing the first round to a team that barely got in the playoffs.
We
They
all
barely got
could have
in.
told y'all
Yeah,
that the
that was gonna
49ers were
happen.
going to win.
But see, no, you couldn't have.
Yes, we
bro.
could.
I mean, see, and this is why I say that. I feel like they have a bigger chip on their shoulder because they took them more personal when they lost in the first round. You can't do that. It's a first round L to a team that got in the last week of the season. The Cowboys clinched the playoffs in week 10, week 11 or 12.
You know, two things I correlate when talking about the Cowboys in this season: failure,
Ooh,
and then I look at them, and I look at the Titans, and I look at both of their divisions, and I laugh at both of them because it's pitiful.
And it's
it's
very
just a
unfortunate.
reflection.
And that's unfortunate, but you know,
it's just a reflection.
we can't choose who we play, but it's like at the same time, you know, with that division stuff, it's them teams just bad. You know, they're just bad, and it like we do them wrong when we play them, but it's like we play somebody else, we lose them by 3 points, 7 points. You know how it
Do
goes.
you think that has an effect on the playoffs?
Yes.
It does?
Yes.
Okay, cool. That's all I need to know.
Yeah. Definitely.
What team do you think has the biggest chip on their shoulder going
It's
to next
the
season?
Steelers, for real.
Steelers?
Facts.
With no QB.
They squeezed in the playoffs with no QB.
Okay.
Mike Tomlin probably top 2 coaches in the NFL right now. With Belichick, Mike Tomlin, and I might go Mike Vrabel because he did it without Derrick Henry, and they still average the same amount of rushing yards.
I think the Ravens too. I think Lamar mad.
They was banged up, so I was like,
Yeah,
maybe the Ravens too.
I
So
think
like,
they gon'
but for if they go in the draft and get a good quarterback or make a trade for something, like what I really want. We talked about this. I want Deshaun Watson to head to Pittsburgh. I want him to link up with Mike Tomlin.
Chill.
Because I want people to go and like try to badmouth and say like, oh, he got all the, you know, he weird or whatever. But when Big Ben had all the allegations and all that, so it's like they can't even say that if he go over there.
I mean, people are entitled to their own opinion about it.
Yeah.
I feel a way about it.
They got a top 5 defense.
They have a top 5 defense. They're really set up
They got a
perfect.
straight
They
run
set up
game. They
perfect.
got run game. They got good receivers. They just ain't got the quarterback.
They just ain't got the
Yeah,
quarterback.
I mean, they're losing Juju, but he was hurt a lot of this season. I think they still have a great team. Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, Najee Harris.
Yeah, Juju not even the best receiver skill player on that team no more.
It's just depth, though.
Yeah, well,
It's
depth-wise, yeah, I
we
feel what
can't
you're saying.
deny that he would just.
No,
he wasn't
definitely.
sorry.
He ain't sorry, but he you know how they go.
He wasn't sorry.
If they
They
get a
put that
quarterback,
curse on 'em.
they're going to be nice. So it's like Big Ben was the excuse this year, really the
Right.
past like 2-3 seasons. So it's like once y'all get if they make a move for a quarterback or
Right.
get one in the draft, it's like, okay, what's up? Like that's all y'all needed. You know what I mean?
You could watch the Steelers and just tell they just needed a quarterback.
That's
now.
it. That's
Now let me give you the team who I think has the biggest chip on their shoulder, and I want to be as biased as possible on my first episode back. The New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints have the biggest chip on their shoulder.
Why?
Ooh.
I don't know
Yeah, I
what
wanna
we're
know.
gonna do at quarterback.
I don't know what we're gonna
One
do.
of the best receivers in the league is coming back, Michael Thomas.
Oh God,
He's coming back home.
the most overrated.
I'm gonna go
receiver in the
free
league.
Alvin Kamara. We're gonna have AK back. We're gonna draft. I hope we go sign a quarterback.
Who
draft
you
the
gonna sign?
We don't have money to sign somebody, so I'm gonna leave it up to my GMs. But we're gonna get a quarterback that's a veteran. We're gonna draft a receiver. We have a Super Bowl defense, and I wish y'all would deny it.
With the
It's going to be Kirk Cousins for y'all.
Y'all best DB give up the second most.
It's who?
It's going to end up being Kirk Cousins for y'all.
Kirk Cousins,
For the low, yeah. It's going to end up being Kirk Cousins.
man, I see Kirk Cousins somewhere else. Man, he better not come to New Orleans.
He gonna be mad.
We draft somebody before we get
Like
Kirk
that
Cousins.
it would be wild, but that's the best option for the low, and because y'all ain't got no money.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Do y'all believe any of that Kyler Murray talk about him leaving the Cardinals? Is that just, do y'all think that's rumor? Is that is that gonna get in the works?
I feel like he just needs something to fall back on because of how the Rams did him in the playoffs. You know, he did have negative passing yards in like the middle of the third quarter.
That's just too much, man. Like
know.
that was his first time in the playoffs. Like
Yeah, like I just feel like he
and-
just got bum rushed.
for real, like it was just too much. Like he gonna learn from that. He gonna get better. Like same thing with like Jalen Hurts too. Like they got thrashed. Like they were supposed to.
They
So
did.
they wasn't supposed to. Like they wasn't supposed to win that. So
Who the Cardinals was it? Talking about the Cardinals or the Eagles?
Kyler wasn't supposed to do well. I said their teams. What Kyler wasn't supposed to do super well, and Jalen Hurts wasn't supposed to. The Eagles wasn't supposed to win a game, and Jalen Hurts wasn't supposed to do well either.
That's true.
So it's
I ain't
like
gonna lie. I could say that I was like really kind of disappointed in Kyler Murray that performance.
You should have.
I really feel like they could have definitely competed to win that game, but they got embarrassed.
They did.
Like embarrassed. And I feel like Kyler Murray with that whole situation, you got to look at his past and his stats. He's not no loser, bro. He probably ain't never been done like that his whole life.
Well, he better figure
So the
it out.
first time he get done like that, he want to leave. Come on, now.
I don't think he want to leave. I think he was showing his age, being a little immature, and some of the things that he was used to getting away with, it just happened to hit
Come
the
back and get him,
surface,
yeah.
and now we see it. But I I know it's early. The season just ended. Off season really hasn't even really started like that. But it's first episode back. I want to see if y'all got the scoop. Who's winning the Super Bowl next year?
I'll let you go first.
Oh, you got dang, he called me. It's too many quarterbacks moving around for me to say. Okay, if they make the right move, it's like 3 teams I'm thinking of.
You can say anything.
If the Bucks make the right move at quarterback,
I need one. I need
one.
2 teams. I need
2 teams.
Who's going?
Okay,
And I need a winner.
Give me the Chiefs, and give me. I don't know what Aaron Rodgers is gonna do. Give me San Francisco.
San Francisco?
And give me the.
Whoa.
I
Debo?
don't know what they're gonna do at quarterback. I don't know what they're gonna do.
They finna switch that up now.
Give me San Francisco.
He got off
San Francisco and Kansas City? Who wins?
Give me San Francisco.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, that's bold, my boy.
I'm not mad.
Bold.
Who you got?
They defense stupid.
I think Lamar gonna go ahead and go this year.
Wow.
Ooh.
I think Lamar gonna go ahead and go from the AFC. I love y'all. I love y'all, Dallas. I love y'all, Dak, but we ain't gonna do that this year. Nah.
What are you thinking about?
I'm trying to think, dog.
NFC?
The NFC deep though. That's what I'm
NFC
saying.
is deep.
The NFC competitive. You can't just. But I think the Ravens gonna go in the AFC. The NFC.
Hey, it's tough.
Nah, it is.
It's tough.
I had to go with the Cowboys. Then
The
I ain't gonna lie
Cowboys?
to you. I ain't gonna lie. That's
cool.
what I'm picking. I'm gonna stick with them. I know what I said. I'm gonna stick with them though.
That's cool.
Because it's competitive. You never know who's gonna win. I would say the Rams, but I just feel like that was a Cinderella story. In all honesty.
That's a Cinderella story. And, I'm Coop, and I always got the scoop. I got the Chiefs versus the Saints, and, of course, the Saints win the Super Bowl. And we'll be back right after this break. The NFL's officiating program was established to identify officials working in college who can make the transition to the NFL. The program trains prospective NFL officials by exposing them to NFL situations. Chaka, who worked as a referee in the Pac-12 and Conference USA, caught the NFL's eye. She eventually joined the program in 2014. After joining the NFL's officiating program in 2014, Chaka made her way through the system. She eventually reached the pinnacle, becoming one of the first female NFL referees and the first black woman to serve as an NFL official, and in September of 2021, in a Week 1 outing between the Carolina Panthers and the New York Jets, where she worked as a line judge. She also served as an official for the XFL in 2020. Chaka stated, "I am honored to be selected as an NFL official. But this moment is bigger than a personal accomplishment. It is an accomplishment for all women, my community, and my culture." This is a scoop, and we back to talk about a little bit of NBA basketball. Now, looking at the NBA season, we've seen a lot of crazy things happen, and the trade deadline just came up, so it got a little crazier. Mm-hmm. Looking at the Lakers, looking at the Nets,
Yep.
James Harden, Ben Simmons,
Ben 10, yes, sir.
Ben 10, H.1. No, I can't give him that nickname, but who won that trade between LA and Brooklyn, and why? Like, why do you think?
Oh, Brooklyn.
Brooklyn definitely won that trade, though.
Definitely won that trade.
Because of what they got out of it.
Thanks.
What the Sixers get. We ain't gonna say what the Sixers get. What the Sixers give up. The Sixers gave up their spot up shooter. They don't got that no more. They gave up him. They gave up Ben Simmons. They gave up like 3 picks. 2 of them are like in the first round this year. Then the Nets gave up James Harden and Paul Millsap. That's a lose. You get a superstar for a superstar, but the role player that you drop, your role player that you gave up is more impactful than the role player that you received. Just because, but you know how basketball go. It's all about fits.
It's all about fits. Who do you think won that trade?
Oh, Brooklyn, for sure.
How?
You got Ben Simmons, who, one, has always been scared of the bucket and everything surrounding the rim. So, now you got him surrounded by so many shooters that he ain't got to do nothing but rebound and dribble the ball.
He feel like he in high school again.
For real. He about to feel so free up and down the court. You can just give him in the post. But if you just need points in the paint, because his range in the court is just so limited. Like, you know what I mean? He's just going to be next to the goal at all times.
How restricted do we think he was in Philly? I mean, he had shooters.
But
he had shooters.
But he had to handle the ball. And he had to make decisions.
That's what got
he
him
didn't
in the
have
league,
Kevin
though.
Durant and Kyrie Irving. Let's say that.
Yeah, that make it easy.
That makes it way easier for him. Way easier. He used to sit in the corner wide open and look at the goal with the ball in his hand. Not he just look at it.
Joe Harris, when he come back, now you got Seth Curry too. Like,
it's scary.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they
Kyrie,
they won.
like
they scary.
They about to go stupid. Like,
it's gonna be like literally 2K. You got a 6'10" point guard, and you got man. Come on, dog.
He about to be like, he about to be Draymond if he was like way more athletic and had way better court vision.
That's what people don't understand, bro. That's just open up.
Give Draymond 2 more inches and like stupid jumping ability.
Do y'all don't like James Harden?
No. You said who won and why?
Like James Harden.
You said who won and why?
James Harden, the 60-point triple-double, 50-point triple-double, 40-point triple-double, 30-point triple-double.
And stuff don't go
and he's
his
going
way.
to play.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't. Don't do that.
I'm doing it.
The MVP, James Harden, is going to play with the MVP of the 21-22 season. And he still got Tobias Harris. You clap it up. He still got Tobias Harris.
He a walking bucket.
He still got Tyrese Maxey. He's they're still deep. So they still have Martise Thybulle. Sorry if I got his name wrong.
Yeah, no.
So it's just like I think Philly won the trade. Just thinking about how dominant Embiid is. Looking at the Nets, yes, they probably got more. Yes, they're deep. But Ben Simmons and James Harden, they don't compare to me. And then you have Kyrie part-time. I was watching Brooklyn the other day, and I saw they had an away game. And I was like, I get to watch Kyrie Irving. And I don't fault Kyrie for anything, but it's like, dang, they were playing the Knicks on an away game, and I expected to see Kyrie. They were in New York.
Yeah, in New York. He can't play.
It's like I can't even see Kyrie play. They just came off an 11-game losing streak.
Mm-hmm.
When they got set to them boys, they still lost a game or two. Now keep in mind when KD come back, it's gonna get real.
Okay.
Ugly.
I was just waiting for you to say it, bro.
He about to get ignorant. Like,
It's gonna get real ugly. But just looking at the Sixers, looking at the Sixers coaching, looking at the staff compared to Brooklyn, Steve Nash has looked a little suspect, if you ask me.
Facts. That's facts.
He's looked a little suspect to me. So everything that came with it, I don't blame James Harden. I'm a big James Harden fan.
Mm-hmm.
Between Steve Nash, I think he was suspect as a coach.
Yeah.
Kyrie Irving missing time, and then with KD being hurt, I think it all kind of filtered in him wanting to leave. I know he said that was his first choice, but I don't think he would have left if KD was still healthy.
For sure. Okay, so we know
losing,
Daryl
bro.
Morey and James Harden tight because they was tight back in Houston, GM for Philly.
Exactly.
But it's like the only thing about James, you got to look at his history. Like, he done forced himself out of Houston. He done forced himself out of Brooklyn. So if something else don't go his way, you know what I mean? I could just see him force himself out of Philly.
And I'm just saying, hamstring too.
Right? And I don't even know if he tight with Embiid. Embiid is the man there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, him and James, as far as like value, don't even compare. Like, they're not even close, for real. And so it's like James gotta handle the ball because he not an off-ball guy. Embiid has been so used to handling it, bringing it up court, doing what he needs to do, shoot, outside game, inside game. So it's like, I'm not saying they can't work there because they can. They play, he's a shooting guard or a point guard, whatever you want him to be, and Embiid is a center. They games can mesh, but it's like James has shown to be somewhat of a diva over his career. You know what I mean?
I'm just looking at it like this. When Clint Capella first came to Houston, I never heard so many people call him a scrub. And then somebody who facilitates the ball like James Harden, this is a man that was dropping 30 and 40 a night, getting 10 assists to Clint Capella and dishing out the shooters. People like that, I'm like, okay, when he gets with a big man, I'm not going to say the comparison to Kobe Shaq because that's kind of, that's off the wall. I've been hearing that a lot. That's very off the wall.
Yeah, extremely.
But looking at somebody who can score the ball and facilitate like James Harden, playing with somebody so dominant at that center position, he's never played with that. True. And just also, I think giving him the credit of being a crybaby and wanting to leave, he was very loyal to the Houston organization.
Very much so. He was. That's good. But you want to know why though?
He earned it.
Want to know why though? Well, no, why though? Because
Why?
they picked him up out of OKC when OKC ain't want to give him that money after he got that $6 million a year. The Rockets said, we'll give you that money. We're going to put all our faith in you. So, of course, you're going to be real loyal to them when they putting their faith in you. But it gets to that certain point where you get tired of the same old cycle. Because you remember that point where the Rockets kept getting to the Western Conference Finals. They can't beat Steph. They can't beat Dame. They can't beat Steph. They can't beat Dame. It was just that same.
More Steph.
It was just that same recurring thing. Then that one year, I love bringing this up. That one year they played the Spurs. I think the Spurs went to the finals that year.
I don't want to talk about it.
And he had 10 points on 5 shot attempts. And somebody tried to tell me he tried his hardest when he shoots 20 shots in 3 quarters. Okay, I ain't trying to hear that. I did not like that. I don't like that. I feel like that can happen at any given moment. I don't like that.
Shut up.
I don't like it, bro. I don't like it.
Shut up.
I'm just being honest, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being real with you, dog. Yeah, real.
It happened. That was one year. I mean, looking at some of the great players we talked about have had some of the worst series ever.
Yep.
Just looking at LeBron against the Mavs, he didn't have the best series. Looking at him and some others, he didn't have the best series.
Well, guess what the difference between LeBron and James Harden is?
What's the difference?
LeBron came back and they should beat him.
Facts. He changed.
James Harden ain't beat them yet.
Look, James ain't changed.
James either ain't beat him when he play, or somebody's not playing, or he's not playing.
Right.
Just like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I just don't like it.
Or whenever somebody gave like James control over the roster, LeBron actually made use of it and actually got to put a real team together. James got Russ, he got Chris,
Got Melo.
Melo, and that's one of the big names. We had some other great role players, Trevor Ariza, PJ Tucker, some whole bunch of other pieces, but it didn't nothing happen. You know what I mean? So it's like then he tried to fault the organization or Daryl Morey and be like, "Oh, it's y'all fault." Y'all didn't. Like, nah, bro. You know what you was doing. Come on, man. Let's be real.
It was D'Antoni a little bit too, though. The offense they was running was.
I feel like we can point the finger at a couple of them people because his teammates weren't hitting shots, and we don't talk about that.
Yeah. When they shoot
but are we talking about LeBron James as well? What do y'all think about the Lakers? They didn't make really any moves at the trade deadline.
I mean, Lord.
AD. I just watched the game last night. AD got hurt. Russell Westbrook in the third quarter, he looked like the Russell Westbrook we've seen all season. He turned it around in the fourth. But, like, what do we think about the Lakers? Dealing with a lot of injuries. Do they turn it around?
Yeah.
I mean,
I feel like they can. They experienced, and they old, like old, not old as in old, but old as in NBA wise. Yeah, they old, but at the same time, all of them can play. All of them can play. Every single last one of them can compete. You got Russell. I don't know what's wrong with him. It got to be a confidence thing.
He'll figure it out.
That's what I'm saying. It's a confidence thing with him. All they got to do is get in. They get in, it's okay. They get in, they got time to rest. They got time to regroup. You playing the same team at least 4 times. You're not playing different teams every night. You don't have to readjust the game plan. You can stick to a plan and execute it to the best of your ability when they get in.
But being ninth in the West, AD just sprained his ankle. Being ninth in the West, I wouldn't want to be, honestly, I know you got to get in, but I wouldn't want to be in a playing game. You get in at 7 or 8, and you got to play Phoenix, or you got to play the Warriors first round. You don't want to do that.
They not beating them.
You've been beat up all year. You don't want to do that.
No.
So I see a lot going wrong with them. I see some of it being coaching early on in the season, as far as like the certain players and certain groups of players going in the game. It was kind of suspect, but also watching the game, people aren't hitting shots.
Nope. They taking bad shots.
Bad shots. The defense is lazy.
Very much so.
Lazy.
So it's just like, do they turn that around?
I mean, the Lakers, to me, they mud. I ain't going to lie to you. But do I think they're squeezing the playoffs? Yes, because of LeBron. The Lakers forget how to play basketball when LeBron is not on the court for whatever reason. Literally. They're like a lost child. They're looking for their dad or something like that. You know what I mean? Like,
literally.
But they defense is lazy. One, because like for defense, you're going to use your young guys, but they ain't got no young guys to get back on defense. All they older guys, and they taking bad shots because all them trying to play hero ball because they used to be in the heroes on their own squads. But now they together, so it's like everybody trying to save the day, but ain't nobody saving nothing. You know what I mean? So it's like they might squeeze in just because like they all have been there before and they know what it take.
Yeah.
And I trust their experience to make it, but nothing else. Like
looking at I know they didn't make any trades, but who is y'all what team made y'all's favorite trade at the trade deadline, if y'all have any? What was y'all's favorite trade? Just personal favorite trade.
My personal favorite would have to be the Kings and the Pacers trade. I feel like the Kings got they replaced like 6 people, dog.
They got Sabonis.
Yeah, they got Sabonis. They got I got that on my phone. The Kings made some moves. Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Jackson, Trey Lyles. You know, then the Pacers went and got not the youngest Holiday brother. I think no, he on the Kings too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Kings won.
Okay.
They
Charles, who you think not so much won the trade deadline, but they kind of improved with the move they made?
I mean, we just talked about it, but even though I say Brooklyn won the trade, I think the Nets really did come up hard though.
Right.
You getting James, who is like, well, we at least know he got a good relationship with Daryl Morey, and even though the Shaq and Kobe comparison is that's way like off the wall, but it's like James do got that kind of talent. You know, he ain't gonna bang like Kobe did, but like we know he can score. And MB did need some help. Any one of them can drop 40 a night. You know that. So it's like you did take some pressure off of MB so he can get some rest, and you did get somebody who's gonna ball. You know what I mean? So really, I said the Sixers won, and you got rid of Ben Simmons, who was kind of like just really kind of dragging your little space.
He wasn't doing anything.
He wasn't doing
Literally
nothing.
wasn't even on the court.
Yeah,
Exactly.
he wasn't even going to practice.
Yeah, so
going
you know,
to
you
practice,
emptied all that out, and you got somebody worth some. So it's like, even though I say Brooklyn still won that trade, I think they came up the hardest, really.
Okay, I think my trade that I had was my favorite. It wasn't nothing too extravagant, and they've been losing a lot of games lately. But the Charlotte Hornets, they got Montrezl Harrell. He's a good addition. They were lacking bigs. I think they were lacking toughness, so they got him. So looking ahead, hope they can make the playoffs. Hope the NBA season kind of turns up after the All-Star break, and I hope the playoff is very exciting. A little bit more exciting than the NFL, even though it's going to be real hard to do.
Yeah,
it's going to be real hard to do.
Who would have thought the Bengals would have, man?
Who would have thought the Bengals would have won?
For real.
But I do appreciate y'all for being on my show. I'm Coop.
sure.
Always got the scoop. And y'all follow us on Twitter, Instagram, subscribe, and like to us on YouTube. And I'll be here with you next week.